Senator Klobuchar, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's another spotlight hearing with the brothers of Renee Good, and that's why I've been going back and forth, so I appreciate your understanding. So I think everyone knows I've had long-time concerns about competition, and anytime the biggest player in the industry seeks to get bigger, there is concern for consumers. Netflix has been noted as the most popular streaming service in the U.S., and through this acquisition, it would take over the rival streaming service HBO Max, potentially giving it power to further increase prices. What incentives will exist, Mr. Sarandos, for Netflix to ensure streaming remains affordable for consumers and to produce more content?
First of all, thank you so much, Senator. Good to see you. I'll tell you that the incentive is the business model that we've created. We've built on improving the value proposition for consumers. Whenever we come back and ask for a little more money, it's because we've given them a lot more value. And that's the dynamic I talked to you about, this price per hour of viewing being a third of some of the other services that are available. And I think people see that value in the engagement that they see. They have to really love what they're watching, and thank goodness we're doing a good job at that.
Mm-hmm. So last year, Netflix raised its subscription prices while continuing to add subscribers. And I'm just concerned by combining, there would be even more incentive to do that.
Well, I think we can only do that if the consumer sees the value. We are a one-click cancel. So if at any point the consumer says, that's too much for what I'm getting, they could just, with one click of the button, cancel Netflix. So that whole process of being able to fund more entertainment for consumers, you have to do it in perfect harmony.
Mr. Campbell, CNN. I think we need more independent and diverse sources of news, not less. The 24/7 nature of CNN allows people to immediately get news. And while Warner Brothers Discovery's linear television assets, including CNN, aren't part of this transaction, it's vital that CNN remain a viable, independent source of news moving forward. What are your plans for CNN as part of a standalone entity, and how will you ensure that consumers retain CNN as an independent, reliable source of news?
Yeah, so one of the benefits of this transaction is prior to completing the deal with Netflix, our global networks business will be spun out. CNN, both its linear and digital businesses, will be part of that entity. In fact, it will be a centerpiece of the offering. CNN is one of our most popular cable channels. It's important for advertising, it's important for distribution, and certainly it's important for consumers and their access to independent news. So it will be part of that independent company. It will have its own leadership team separate from what will be the merged Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery company, and it will continue to have its own independent editorial policy and independent newsroom.
And do you think Warner Brothers, given all of the success, last year earning more than $4 billion globally, with movies like Minecraft movies, Superman, Sinners, not to give you advertisements here. Do you believe that Warner Brothers Studios and streaming would be a profitable business as a standalone entity?
We are a profitable studio. We've had great success. This movie studio business goes up and down every year. And as I mentioned in my opening statements, we didn't necessarily set out to sell that business. Our goal was to separate the two companies because they have very different business models. It was only when we got the inbound interest that we looked at our strategic options. Certainly, under Netflix leadership, I think there's an even greater opportunity for that Warner Brothers business to grow. I know that Ted and his team are committed to continuing to invest in the great content there. So yes, we're profitable today, but I think there's an even better business with Netflix.
Mr. Sarandos, just to turn, I know some of my colleagues asked about theaters, which I'm concerned about. I think it's a very important part of our, of places to gather and see movies together. And Mr. Sarandos, iconic films have been made all over the U.S. In Minnesota, I'm sure you'll take note that the Coen brothers' Fargo to Disney's Mighty Ducks to, of course, Grumpy Old Men were made in Minnesota.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, but we could do better. And so we have seen more and more production of movies shift overseas. And while announcing its planned acquisition of Warner Brothers, Netflix said the deal would, quote, significantly expand U.S. production capacity and continue to grow investment in original content over the long term, could you talk about the effect this is going to have on film production in the U.S. And what will happen here?
Senator, we believe that this deal will make it possible for us to expand what was Warner's output and what we know were the already planned Netflix output to continue to produce. And we produce primarily in the United States. Most of what we make outside of the United States is local language, local production for local audiences. And some of the incentives that we were able to work on with Governor Murphy in New Jersey made it so it's so competitive to film in New Jersey that there's no reason to go overseas for a film production, not just Netflix, but for others. So I think we're very vested in creating more American jobs, keeping production in America. I think that we do this better than anyone else in the world, tell stories to the rest of the world, and we want to keep investing in it.
Okay, last words, I won't ask a question, but just the importance of a thorough antitrust review of this major mega merger. I continue to believe that we need to update our laws. That's the Calera bill that I have introduced, the Competition Antitrust Law Enforcement Reform Act, just because I think major mega mergers like this should be held to the burden of, do they actually hurt competition or not? And I think that would be a much better way to run things in a capitalist society that believes in the marketplace. But I appreciate both of you coming before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thanks, Senator Klobuchar. Senator Cruz.
Thank you. I want to start by having the record reflect that I'm amazed Senator Klobuchar